Kageo, 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 Miame.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we have invited you guys here today to share some of the negative issues taking place in the forestry sector of our country, which we see as an attempt to undermine or contradict President George Weah's global campaign to protect and conserve our natural reserve. The conservation and proper usage of the forestry sector of our country will immensely contribute to the reduction of greenhouse gas emission to help keep the global temperature, which our country are now fighting for, to keep it at that level 1.5 degrees Celsius, or even below, amidst the global climate crisis. This is President Weah's commitment at the just ended Conference of Party on Climate Change or Global Warming held in Egypt. And in that, there were a lot of commitments made by government around the world, and President Weah took the bull by the horn by championing and committing Liberia forest to that international body. Liberia has an estimated 43% of the Upper Guinea forest. And we are knowing the importance of our forest contribution to the reduction of greenhouse gas emission, while pledging that Liberia will protect and conserve the forest. Also call on powerful nations, especially countries that are considered the highest pollutants of greenhouse gas emission, like China, the USA, the Great Britain, among others, to take practical steps by investing more money in countries that have agreed to conserve their forests. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, JPN Liberia, as an environmental media watchdog, wants to state here clearly that contrary to government's, which is President Weah's commitment in conserving 1 million hectares of Liberia's forest, it is saddening for us to discover that Youssef Diamond Mining Company, for short YDMC, is carrying on an active exploration in the Gola Forest National Park, which was enacted into law as a national park. This means that no activities, including mining, hunting, and farming, should be done in the national park. But contrary to that, the Youssef Mining Company is involved, has deliberately entered the forest to carry on exploration. We have audio-visual evidence and other investigations that we have done showing clearings of the Gola Forest National Park to lay out feeder road deep into the park. And we see it as an attempt to undermine the president's quest to ensure that we have a national reserve that will be deserving of the international community. Our investigation has proven that YDMC has gone beyond the 2-kilometer buffer zone as provided for by law. Normally, when the park is created, there's a 2 kilometer buffer zone that is set up. Meaning that you can work within the 2 kilometer buffer zone, but you can go beyond the 2 kilometer buffer zone. But YDMC has entered beyond the 2 kilometer buffer zone, which we see as an attempt to honor conservation in our country. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, it is extremely troubling that YDMC, without due respect to President Weah's quest to conserve our forests while advocating for increased financial support to the sector, has decided to enter the Golafo National Park to do diamond mining. This act on the part of YDMC is unacceptable and an attempt to test the government resolve in promoting global conservation best practices. Due to this threat and raise YDMC poses to the Golafo National Park, the environmental media group, Journal for the Protection of Nature, categorically condemn the act by Youssef Diamond Mining Company as it is in clear violation of the National Wildlife and Protected Areas Management Act of 2017. There's an act that prohibits people from entering the park to do anything. The park is being reserved by the government in order to protect our ecosystem and our biodiversity. But going into the park of man will honor man and even threaten the biodiversity and ecosystem of our country. And that will lose a lot of international support. And we don't want to see that happening as a local media watchdog, environmental media watchdog. We think the right thing should be done. And this is why we are taking this bull by the horn. For instance, Section 6.1.2 of the Act says, and I quote, the authority shall ensure the protection of all wildlife species, known and unknown, as part of an important natural heritage and a symbol of significance to the cultural values of the communities surrounding the protected areas, forest edge, and the corridor joining key wildlife protected areas. Unquote. This means that when that place is protected, no one should go there according to the law to do anything. Even a farmer cannot go there and farm. Don't go there and hunt the species. Because Liberia has some of the most endangered species that we need to protect. And then we can transition towards ecotourism, where people go and see the animal and pay thousands of dollars for just seeing one of the animal. If someone see elephant, do they carry them there? We think that that is the best way out to protect our forests and then revert into ecotourism. Members of the forest state, the Youssef Diamond Mining Company action of carrying on exploration in the Golafo National Park is also in violation of Section 5.8 of the National Wildlife Conservation and Protected Area Law of Liberia, which calls no protected area established by the legislature. Action under Chapter 5 of the Act shall be abolished or eliminated. We are saying, since the coming into force of the Wildlife Conservation Law in 2017, it has been repealed. It has not been repealed. So, while DMC should immediately halt all operations and vacate the Gola Forest National Park. That is the stem of JPN Liberia. Once the law is not repealed, we're calling on YDMC to halt all activities in the Golafo National Park and vacate the park. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the environmental media watchdog JPN Liberia is also calling on national government to speedily investigate the legitimacy of two communications signatured by the Deputy for Operations, Minister of Land, Mines and Energy, Emmanuel Oshama, dated February 1, 2022, granting exploration lesson number MEL2121-16 to the Youssef Diamond Mining Company to carry out mining in and around the Golafo National Park, which we see by the law has been forbidden. Another communication from Deputy Minister Sherman in our possession, dated May 17, 2022, seconded a geologist, Herman Zeze, and a mining engineer, Addis Arab Gonglo, to the company as eyes for the ministry doing parallel mining operation of YDMC in the Golafo National Park. Not being certified, JPN Liberia in mobile phone conversation with Deputy Minister Emmanuel O. Johnson confirmed the exploration operation of the Youssef Diamond Mining Company in the Golafo National Park. What a serious contradiction to government's fight for conservation of protected areas. The minister confirmed that the company has been granted license to operate into the national reserve. Anything that reserve should be kept, not to enter there and start to carry on mining activity or any form of activities in that park. And this is where JPN Liberia is coming from, based on our national international orientation. JPN Liberia believes the operation of YDMC will further open a floodgate for other mining companies to venture in the protected areas for mining purposes, which will dash efforts of conservation organizations, including Society for the Conservation of Nature. The key leader that is now leading the campaign for the protection and conservation of the Golafo National Park, Society for the Conservation of Nature, or SNL, will dash their hope. While JPN Foundation and all other conservation organizations in Liberia that have been working hard to conserve national protected areas in the country. Members of the four estates, JPN Liberia categorically condemn in a stronger terms the operation of Youssef Diamond Mining Company and call on the national government to take prompt actions on the issue under discussion as to protect our endangered species and protect our forests from degradation. Liberia has signed up to several international conservation protocols, and any attempt to play blind eyes on these illegal acts will undermine its quest in in protecting the forest and its biodiversity. We as JPN Liberia also want to call on the European Union, the United States government, and other international business institutions around the world not to do business with Youssef Diamond Mining Company by disallowing mined diamond from the Golaford National Park on the international market, because the eyes of money in the national park brought us around environmental crimes. Let us make it clear that JPN Liberia will continue to engender initiatives that will foster environmental justice. We will not sit here as an environmental media watchdog to see people desecrating our national heritage while we have the platform to bring them to book. The EU and other international donors have invested millions of United States dollars for conservation purposes in the environmental sector, especially the forest sector of our country. The only reason is that the international community is interested in allowing future generations to see what are some of the heritage we have in this country, and to also contribute to the reduction of greenhouse gas emission that has threatened the global community through climate change. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we want to thank the donor community, including World Bank, European Union, USA, that have continued to support the protection of protected areas such as the Gola Forest National Park, Grebo and Sapo National Park, as well as the proposed quad protected areas, which is now under discussion for subsequent gazettement to be transformed into a national park. National park, which covers about 88,000 hectares of forested land, is home to some of the world's endangered species and only unique to Liberia, not only in any country. Some of the species find the Golaford National Park, you don't find in any country. So it's important that we give the park a kind of a leverage that will ensure that the park is protected and those species are protected.
My name is Aishan Iba and I report for KMTV. Well, I listened to your deliberation and you made mention of the Deputy Minister at the Lands and Mines alluding to the issue of mining by the Youssef Exploration Company. But what is not clear is as to whether they are aware of the extra mining activities that is going beyond their bounds.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me just come in. My name is Mark. I'm the program officer for Markdown. I'm the program officer for JPN Liberia. Thank you for your question. Yes, the protection of our national park is very much important. The park came to be in 2016, and it's clearly stated that there should be no other activities. No activities should be within the park or around the park beyond the 2-kilometer buffer zone. So it's clearly stated that, and there's nothing in the act that created Gola Forest National Park of 2016 that says that people should go about to do active mining within the park. So as we speak, like our ED said, Youssef Diamond Mining Company has laid feeder roads within the park, and they are doing active mining activities. Yes, there have been other some alluvial and small scale mining operations that have been ongoing, but that has been outside of the park. It has not been in the operation of the park. I mean, within the park.
Let me just say to you, science is very clear. There's no two things can occupy one space at the same time. You cannot be preserving your forest and then secretly going underground to give the park to a diamond mining company to go and do exploration into the park. That is bizarre. And we think that the act, the confirmation by the Deputy Minister, Emmanuel O. Williams, Emmanuel O. Sherman, is a serious contradiction to President. As you know, President Weah has been around the world campaigning immensely and making commitment to the global actors that Liberia is indeed prepared to conserve our forests in order to contribute to the reduction of global emission around the world. Now the entire world now is not battling to keep the level of temperature from greenhouse emission to 1.5, at least 1.5, but even below, because there's a serious climate crisis, and Liberia is the third longest. Liberia has the third biggest forest in the world. So if we see people contradicting President Weah's quest to ensure that we have a more holistic and a more approachable environmental context, then for us as an environmental media group, our environmental media watchdog, then we take exception and we'll continue to lay all this along. This is why we're calling on the United Nations. This is why we're calling on the United States government. This is why we're calling on the EU to disallow any diamond coming out of the national park, especially from the Gola Forest National Park, not just Gola Forest, but any national park, any mineral resources coming from there, in the name of money, should we disallow, and those that are involved should be brought to book. That is our quest.
Yeah. Another question?
Another question? Okay, listen.
Yeah, I have a question. My name is Chito Mukoli. I write on agriculture, food security, and environment. Thank you, Mr. Director, for press conference. From what I gathered, the presentation, had there been any consultation with, prior to this, press conference, had there been any consultation with the authority at the Ministry of Lands and Mines, and even the group that is being accused of inclusion on the national park?
We have launched an investigation as an environmental media watchdog. Our business is to investigate environmental crimes. And anything involving from the semblance of environmental crime will raise those issues and call the international people to checkmate those that are committing environmental crime at the detriment of the ordinary people. And we come to the question. My team has been very much engaged, holistically engaged with the minister, will give us some details information regarding some of the communication and stuff like that with the minister, Emmanuel O. Sherman. And he admitted that they are there. But what our regrettable position is that you cannot be the Ministry of Mines and Energy knowing fully well that the issue of the climate crisis is immense, and you want to undercut the president's direction towards ensuring that Liberia be a greater contributor towards the reduction of global temperature down to 1.5 degrees Celsius. That is our focus point. We have committed ourselves. So for someone to go, like I said to you, science has just made it clear that no two things can occupy one space at the same time. I say it tells me a lot.
Okay.
So you cannot be reserving the forest and still not taking diamond company there to go and mine. We see it not just a contradiction, but as an attempt to undermine and undercut President Weah's commitment and campaign in ensuring that Liberia become a bigger beneficiary of global contribution towards the protection of our natural reserve.
Okay, to just add your question I asked, yes, JPN team have engaged the minister, and the minister did admit that, yes, indeed, there is a lesson being granted to Youssef Mining Company, that company is doing active mining within the park. And the idea that created the park did not say companies should go in, the government or whoever to grant exploration lesson to people, to any other company within the national protected area. That is clearly against the law. They are not exploiting, or they are not prospecting either, but they are doing active mining. That is clearly against the law. This is what we are saying. That area it has one of the world endangered species. It's one of the hotspots around the world. So protection is very much key. Several biodiversity species that are, some of whom are new to science, they are found within the Gola Forest National Park.
Let me just say to you, in 2000, was it 16? No, 2018, right? When we launched an investigation into the Gola Forest National Park.
2021.
2021, rather. Sorry for that. 2021, we launched an investigation in the Gola Forest National Park, where people has moved into the park along the river bend, the Mana River bend, into the park, and were doing active mining in that park. We raised the alarm. The government got concerned. They have to deploy security. Security have to move in. And what we do as an environmental media, why that's why we're calling on the EU and other people to support the environmental media group, to work along with us, to ensure that we have some of the biggest investigation on earth. And this story is they call it following the money story, following the money project. We have a project that we launch we call following the crime. We have a project that we launched, they call Following the Crime. And this story falls under Following the Crime. We have been investigating to ensure that we bring people that are involved into environmental crime to environmental justice. That is just what we want to do. And that is what we are doing. And we hope that the EU, we hope that the United States government, you say other people will look at JPN in a very good direction so that we can launch more investigation on the Following the Crime situation. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the press. Thanks for coming.
Kageo, mieme. Kai kakepia ikanwi keyo. Mwoye watoru pekao. Mwoye la wakai mo yeso gasera o.